So obviously, I spoke in quite a facetious manner, I suppose, the other day with regards to the breakdown of peace talks between Iran and America. And I think it's important to realize or to note that we can never have peace. There will never be peace in that situation or a ceasefire when the first thing Israel does is bomb the fuck out of Beirut, which isn't a part of southern Lebanon, which isn't under Hezbollah control. And a caveat to that, this whole idea that Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. I'm not saying for or against that narrative. I'm just saying that organizations like Hezbollah are born out of terror, the terror and brutality of settler colonialism. And again, we know that in this country. And they certainly didn't exist previous to Israel attacking Lebanon back in the late 70s, early 80s. Anyway, that's just an extra caveat to the situation. Obviously, that's what happened there in Lebanon and Beirut was the biggest bombing campaign thus far against the Lebanon since the 2nd of March or whatever. They killed 200 people like that, 100 bombing raids in 10 minutes, is my understanding, killed little kids and everything, you know. And then, so they're psychopaths. Like, there's just no question about it. I was looking at Double Down News, I think they are, your man Low Key online, and a woman, and I forget her name, blonde chick, who was sort of showing us all the thing that they say on an institutional level in Israel, and that is supported by a large faction of Israelis, and it's disgusting. It's psychopathic. Like, it's absolutely obscene. And so these people are scumbags, they're psychopaths who have no interest in peace. And on the flip side of that, the other part of their partnership is playing games, basically. They think this is all a game so that they can pivot the world and so that basically they can enrich their own energy, domestic energy markets. That's what's really going on here. They're talking about selling oil themselves to China. And I suppose the point I'm trying to make is, like, if we know that Israel are psychopaths and America are trying to fuck the normal working class people all over the world like me and you, and exacerbating the energy crisis or the spiraling costs of fuel to heat your home and cook your food, etc., and power your car. Like, why do we put up with it? We know that the head of central or counterintelligence a year ago, Tulsi Gabbard, who has sort of fallen off. I don't know what happened to her. I used to think she was a person of integrity. Obviously, she's not. But she had said over a year ago, maybe about a year ago, that there was no nuclear weapons program being underway, shall we say, in Iran, that they had a domestic, like an energy nuclear program, which is their inalienable right, and they were within the constraints of the nuclear non-proliferation program. And then apparently that any what's the word I'm looking for? Any ability to produce nuclear weapons was apparently destroyed after the 12-day war, as per Donald Trump's own rhetoric. And then they launched this war under the guise of an existential nuclear threat. And even then, their director of their counterintelligence program said, I quit. Joe Kent, he said, in good conscience, I can't stand by and validate this situation. I have to speak out. And apparently Joe Kent's a total fucking lunatic as well. And so even he's like, I'm out. So I suppose the point I'm trying to make is, like, why do we put up with it? Why don't we just go, I'll tell you what we'll do. Seeing as how the mandate to start the war and to kill innocent people in Iran was totally erroneous, and seeing as how it's having a negative economic effect on us and other normal everyday people all over the world, why don't we just say, we'll have that oil, we'll have them petrochemicals, we'll have that fertilizer, Iran, we'll take all of your oil and petrochemicals and fertilizer, and we don't give a fuck what America has to say. And the thing about it is that's how you actually would deal with America's foreign policy, because they've created a petrodollar centric world economy that's not based like on any of their own like gold standard or anything like this. They did away with it years ago. So if we just said, well, we will buy Iran's oil and petrochemicals and fertilizer in cryptocurrency or yuan, whatever the Chinese currency is, and that'll be that. The petrodollar will collapse. The American economy will collapse. They will no longer be able to fund Israel's genocides all over the Middle East and their Greater Israel project. And we'd be like, we'd get cheap energy, and we wouldn't be fucking fighting each other in September now in the car park a little for fucking food. It would just be a win-win all over the place. I don't understand why that's not just the case where we just go, no, we've had it with you cunts, and we have the power to stop what you're doing and to put you out of business and the business of death and war and neo-imperialism and settler colonialism for good. What does anyone else think?